Imagine this, an energetic little toddler girl strolling around in a walker upstairs in a two-storey home. Baby gates didn't exist back then. Suddenly, she went tumbling down the stairs, her mother diving to the rescue, calming her down after pulling her out of the walker. Nothing much was thought of about that experience. A few years later, this same girl, 6 years old, was sent with a glass cup to get some flour from her auntie's house across the road. When the roads were clear, she skipped across the street. Then, whoosh, this spider chill feeling crept up her like spiders creeping under skin at the speed of lightning, then bam, she was out. Slowly coming conscious, with no one else around. She could see glass in her hand, blood trickling down her arm. But she couldn't feel it. She limped back home. Her parents rushed her to hospital. A few years later, she was sitting in a school assembly. That spider chill feeling hit her again, and she started convulsing in front of 300 students and teachers. Her brother dragged her out of assembly, embarrassed in front of his friends. Having more ongoing similar experiences, she was officially diagnosed with epilepsy by age 11. I am that little girl. From experiencing all these epilepsy experiences, my seizure experiences were inflicted from that traumatic brain injury, falling downstairs as a toddler. With over 80 million people worldwide experiencing head injuries every year, if you fall, deal with domestic violence, play contact sports, or drive a car, this could happen to you. So what is epilepsy? I'm one of approximately 60 million epilepsy warriors around the world. Epilepsy is not hereditary in my family. I'm the only person of all my family members I know who has it. Epilepsy is defined as a disorder in which the nerve cell activity in the brain is disturbed, causing seizures. Stress is a major trigger for seizures. For myself, even standing here on the stage today is stressful. There are over 40 types of seizures, some of which are life-threatening. I myself experienced 6 types of seizures throughout my 23-year period of epilepsy. They included tonic-clonic grand mal, nocturnal sleeping, absence, complex partial, and simple partial seizures, as well as auras. I'll explain a few of those types of seizures. Let's start with the tonic-clonic grand mal seizures, the well-known shaking on the ground type seizure. Now, let me clear a few misconceptions about epilepsy. When someone's having a seizure, they're not being aggressive and violent. You don't need to call the police to intervene. When someone's having a seizure, they're not acting out, they're not stoned, they're not drunk. They're having a seizure. People aren't leaning on this and making it up. You need to trust that when someone's having a seizure, they're actually having a seizure. And just to let you know, It's not cool to pretend to have seizures if you don't have epilepsy yourself. Please, show some respect. For myself, 90% of my tonic-clonic seizures came without warnings. No time to call an ambulance or push buttons on a medical alarm. It was straight blackouts. Not feeling anything during these seizures. Then slowly coming conscious, but having lost my sense of feelings. For me, it was a common incident to bite my tongue during these seizures, waking with the taste of blood in my mouth. I could see the blood, but I couldn't feel the pain. It's a bit like the experience of a dentist numbing your mouth. This is what it was like immediately after having these seizures, losing control of myself, and not even being able to speak properly. It was these feelings of helplessness which cause a lot of anxiety, shame, and fear. Complex partial and absent seizures were rather different. They were either blank staring or fiddling activities. I will take you on the journey of what it was like to have these types of seizures throughout my journey of motherhood. Having up to 4 seizures every week during pregnancy, I had a great fear of miscarrying my child every single time it happened. Even the thought of having a seizure while in labour giving birth weighed on me. While that never happened, I had a seizure the next day while breastfeeding my precious newborn son. Lucky the nurses rescued my baby and safely put him in a hospital bassinet. I couldn't bath my son alone. I could drop him and he would drown. I needed to attach his pram to my wrist in case I had a seizure and he rolled down the hill or on the road without me. I needed to catch taxis and buses everywhere, as you can't drive when you have seizures. I even came conscious from a few of my seizures with my toddler son right beside me. Fear in his eyes. It was hard not to feel like a failure as a parent while he witnessed these experiences. So what is it like to have a seizure in a situation where you may die? I had 3 near-death experiences, one during a flying fox ride, one during surgery, and a seizure while swimming in a pool. When I was 13, I was at the public pools with my family. I was doing what most other teenagers were doing, splashing around in the water. Then it hit again. No sooner did it happen, where I felt my spirit leave my physical body. I felt peace and tranquility as an angel spirit, with pure white surroundings all around and above me. Even though I could clearly see everyone down below, watching the lifeguard pull me out of the water and attempt resuscitation. I felt someone behind me, an angel spirit, urging me to go back down, as my time on earth was not yet finished. It didn't take long before I rejoined my physical body and I coughed up water. I can't remember much else about that experience. except that I was in a trauma shock as to what had just happened. I will be forever grateful for that quiet hero, that lifesaver who saved my life. After 23 years of ongoing seizures, trying many different medications, none of which had worked, I come to this point in life where I couldn't handle what was happening to me. I even asked the neurologist, what more can I do? And so this brain surgery path began. Approximately 6% of the 60 million people with epilepsy qualify for this left temporal lobectomy brain surgery that was recommended. I even needed to ask myself, should I do this? Should I not? Even though the success rate is between 60 to 70%, the surgery team still needed to explain all the risks involved. Loss of speech, loss of vision, stroke, paralysis, and even death. And why did I need to know these risks? They wanted to remove a third of my brain. Even just contemplating this thought of surgery overwhelmed me, even to the extent that I almost completely cancelled the surgery. But I pushed past these fears. I followed my heart, not my head, and did it anyway. I arrived at the hospital. The medical team shaved off the left side of my hair, and I was put to sleep. I slowly came conscious in the intensive care unit 4 hours later. According to medical research, an average person takes between 4 to 6 weeks to recover from the surgery. Through the power of faith, prayers, and miracles, I was discharged from hospital 3 days after and shopping the next day. 1 week later, no seizures. 1 month later, 1 year later, 2 years later. My last seizure was on the 6th of January 2013, the day before the surgery. Words cannot comprehend how much gratitude I have for myself taking the courage to undergo this surgery, and for the skills and expertise of the surgeons and medical team who underwent this amazing intervention. Faith precedes the miracle. Now, will I ever have another seizure again? Only time will tell. Whether I have one or not, ahakoa e te takunguhu, he rei kei roto. I will accept my limits, continue to face them with courage, and turn them into success.